Reddit story, my parents chose my brother. Years later, they came to me for help. I grew up with one older brother, Ethan. In our house, he was the favorite, and everyone knew it. If Ethan got a bad grade, my parents hired tutors. If I got straight A's, they simply said, "That's what we expect from you." When he broke something, I was blamed. When I won awards, they barely noticed. The moment that changed everything happened when I was 15. I won first place in a state science competition. It was the biggest achievement of my life. My parents skipped the ceremony because Ethan had soccer practice. Not a championship, just practice. That day, I stopped trying to earn their approval. Instead, I worked. I took part-time jobs, earned scholarships, and paid for most of my college myself. Meanwhile, Ethan received everything. A new car at 18, college tuition, twice because he dropped out the first time, money to start a business. Every failure was followed by another bailout. Whenever I asked for help with tuition, my parents always had the same answer: "We're helping your brother right now." So I stopped asking. After graduation, I landed an entry-level job in IT. I worked long hours, learned new skills, switched companies, and eventually started my own software consulting business. 10 years later, I owned a home, had healthy savings, and a life I built from scratch. Ethan, on the other hand, had gone through several jobs, another failed business, and mountains of debt. Every mistake was always someone else's fault. Then one evening, my parents called. "We need to talk." When they arrived, they looked older than I remembered. Dad finally admitted the truth. We mortgaged our house to help Ethan, and now we're losing it. Then came the question, "Can you help us?" I looked at them and asked only one thing: "If I give you the money, will Ethan change?" Silence. Mom finally whispered, "Probably not." I nodded. "I'm not paying for his mistakes." She immediately snapped, "He's your brother." I couldn't hold it in anymore. "And I was your son." The room went silent. I reminded them of every ignored achievement, every missed school event, every birthday where Ethan got expensive gifts, while I got excuses. I reminded them how they called me independent whenever they neglected me. Dad stared at the floor. Finally, he said quietly, "We thought you'd always be fine because you never complained." I laughed. I became fine because I learned no one was coming to help me. Mom started crying. Dad looked me in the eyes for the first time in years. "We failed you." Those 3 words meant more than any apology I had imagined. I handed them a folder containing contact information for debt counselors, financial advisors, and legal aid. "I'll help you figure this out," I said, "but I won't give you money that will eventually end up saving Ethan again." They left without arguing. Months later, they sold their house and moved into a small apartment. With no one left to rescue him, Ethan finally got a steady warehouse job. For the first time in his life, he had to solve his own problems. My parents now visit occasionally. We have dinner, talk about normal things, and they're genuinely trying to rebuild our relationship. I appreciate the effort, but trust, once broken for decades, doesn't magically return. The greatest success wasn't the house I bought or the company I built. It was opening my front door to the parents who once overlooked me and realizing I no longer needed their approval to feel complete.